I think they're building it up and had a lot of negative PR with the whole program. And I think they're building that up. They might have to pay him a couple extra $1 million and
Well,
get
save
paid
it for the
6 million.
second half. I don't have to hear shit twice.
Yeah.
Charlie got the mic, he's dropping facts all day. Anthony's like, nah, I got the better parlay. Argue about the spread, it's a fierce debate. But when it comes to Wildcats, they align their fate. Blitz the bookies where the knowledge reigns. Charlie and Anthony bring the heat like flames. Talking parlays, breaking down the games. Kentucky Wildcats, they beat the same drums.
All right, guys, the Blitz is back. I'm Charlie Winkle here with Anthony Roberts and Josh Onan. Welcome to the Blitz the Bookie podcast. Josh has got the new background. Looking good, Josh. Finally got away from the plain or what is that, yellow?
It was like a peanut butter color.
Plain peanut butter background. Now he's got all his favorite things, Jordans, Star Wars, and Back to the Future. Preakness last week. We got the NBA down to the conference championship series. All three of our teams that we picked are still alive. Not so lucky in the hockey. My team's out. Anthony's team's out. Anthony actually picked two teams.
I got whoever wins.
Because his first team dropped out so early. But if you listen, you know Josh loves to go chalk. So he picked the best team in the league, Colorado. Surprise, surprise, they're still playing. So we'll see what we think about the final four teams in basketball and hockey. And then it is almost officially summer, and summer means baseball, and more baseball. Our baseball teams, they're still in the cellar. But the college conference tournaments are going on right now. Our Kentucky Wildcats are already out in the first day against Vandy and officially on the bubble. So we'll be watching Monday when they do the selection show for the baseball tournament to see if Kentucky can even get in. We also will have the college softball World Series, which Anthony loves. The Little League World Series will be coming up in what, like the end of June or something like that?
No, that's not till almost July, August. Really.
Is it?
Yeah, it gets close to when school starts.
All right, I'm getting ahead of myself, but baseball, you know how it is in the summer. Get ready for the baseball. And let's not forget, it's summer of 2026. And if you're good at multiples of 4, you would know that it's a World Cup year. And we aren't a huge soccer podcast here, but personally, I love the World Cup. Of course, I'll be watching the USA to see if they can make a run. We know that's not going to happen, but I'll watch every second of the World Cup. I'm going to see what Anthony and Josh think about World Cup soccer. We got quite a bit of stuff to talk about. Not a lot of time. Guys, how y'all feeling?
I am actually excited about the women's college tournament and
I thought
the
you were
World
going to say
Series.
the World Cup.
No, it actually, a lot of people don't know this, but it almost always does better numbers than the college boys baseball World Series. And it should, because it's a funner sport to watch. It just is. And they typically always beat them in rankings as far as the college World Series. If anybody ain't never had a chance to watch fast pitch softball at the highest level, check it out. It's very entertaining. Baseball needs to take some lessons from softball in the sense of entertainment value, because I just think the field's smaller and the game's so much faster. But a lot of excitement in a fast pitch game. A lot of fun to watch. So definitely excited about that. Of course, summertime means a slow, like far as football goes, the sport I love, but it is a big horse racing time. And so I'm excited about the upcoming Belmont. Of course, we just got past the Preakness, and you got the Travers and Haskell coming up in the summer. A lot of good races in the summer. So excited about that. But we'll get to the end of the NBA, and I'm watching that a little bit. Keep my eye on it. It's not my favorite thing, but I'm definitely like more tuned into it than I am, say, the World Cup.
Come on, man. You don't like the World Cup, Josh? You watch the World Cup soccer?
I am not a huge soccer fan, but I do watch like Olympic soccer. I do watch World Cup soccer. I'll definitely watch way more. I will fake fan it with anybody when it comes to the World Cup. I'll watch Brazil and Portugal play. I'll watch Germany and Switzerland, or whoever the hell's playing each other. I mean, it's just the crowds are great. The teams care, and that's what I like, is when teams care. I mean, this matters. This is these guys' World Series. It's the World Cup. They love playing for their country. A lot of pride, a lot of fun, and just to see these people from all over the world come to one country, which is the USA this year, and to cheer on their team. It's awesome. I just love to see it. It's
I will, I will,
pageantry.
I will say that it is kind of cool because in soccer over in Europe, you might be from Germany, but you might play for a team in England. And so when they do, get to play with their national buddies, I'm sure they'd much prefer to do that. It just comes down to money and the way the league's set up over there. But I do think it's cool. And as much as I don't like soccer and I don't watch much World Cup, when the U.S. is playing, I will watch just for national pride. But hell, some of the U.S. players don't even like the U.S. no more. But I will. I will be pulling for the United States. I'm a very national pride guy. And especially since it's Memorial Day weekend, got the flags on, the flags up. So I'll definitely be pulling for the Americans if they're in it. Are the Americans in it?
They
Yeah,
are.
we're in
Okay.
it. I looked at our little group that we got, and it looks like a winnable group. But
Yep.
who knows with the USA Soccer, because we've got our hopes up in the past with some decent teams that they talked up, and it usually ends with failure. But it's like the Olympics. I love the Olympics. It's the pageantry. It's the USA. World Cup's the same thing. It's
Yeah.
more about playing for something. It means something to them. The crowds are awesome. You mentioned that, Josh. So I like, and dude, the product is pretty good too. Like,
Oh yeah. The
look,
speed.
I am
Oh.
not a soccer fan at all, but this is the highest level. And if you're just not a soccer person, you probably just think of, youth soccer and how boring it is. It's not that. How long you been watching it, Josh?
I mean, I can remember like when it came to the U.S. like in the mid '90s is kind of when I got into it.
Like
And I had
Landon Donovan,
yeah, that's even before him. We're talking Alexis.
Tony Miola,
Yeah, Alexis Lawless. The
Alexi
red hair dude who
Lawless.
does I mean, I remember him. From back in the mid '90s. Was it '96, '98 when it came to the United States and they played in Chicago and all over the United States? I just remember having a buddy who was a big soccer fan and they really enjoyed it. And that kind of made me watch it for the first time. So I was probably, 16, 17 years old.
You know why soccer's not caught on here in America? They try to promote it. They try to build it. I really believe this. This ain't me being funny or being a smartass because we got football. A
Yeah.
buddy of mine made this point to me about like fast pitch softball. In the city of Louisville, we typically didn't have that good of fast pitch softball compared to like teams down south and stuff. And he made the point to me that a lot of our top athletes in the city of Louisville, with us being such a big volleyball town for girls here, Louisville's renowned for having, really high level volleyball players. There's only so many like top athletes to go around, and they're going to play typically the sport that's popular around them. And I think that happens in football and soccer. A lot of the same type player is needed. Somebody that's got good footwork, somebody that's quick, somebody that's athletic. A lot of those guys in America play American football. To be good, you got to be able to draw the talent that's in your country. And for a lot of these countries, football is just not caught on. I think because of the money that it costs to play it.
Mhm.
You need equipment. And B, soccer is it's real easy to play. If you're a poverty ridden country or you're any country, it takes a ball. It takes a ball to play. And so I just think it's a lot more accessible for a lot of kids, and they just never get introduced to football. But you see it over in Europe, whether we like the games over in Europe or not in the NFL. When they go to Europe, they sell out pretty good, and the sport's not even been there that long. So, I mean, football to me is a superior sport, but I think that's why it hasn't caught on in America like it has the rest of the world.
I agree. It's big on the East Coast, though. I tell you, I
Yeah.
grew up on the East Coast, and everybody played soccer and lacrosse.
Softies.
But I love the World Cup. My favorite moment from the World Cup was, I think it was in '06. In the final game, it was France against Italy. I don't know if you remember this. Zinedine
Zidane with the
Was-
headbutt.
literally, for one, he's one of the best players in the world.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, he had retired. Like, he had been retired for a year or two at least. And they convinced him to come back. He was killing it in I think in the 3 games leading up, he scored a goal or had a big assist. And I was keeping up with them because I started watching the World Cup mainly because of the video game,
FIFA.
the FIFA
Yeah.
video game in the early 2000s. it got pretty big, and it was an awesome game. And I didn't even like soccer, but I'm sitting here playing it. It was all like I played it all the time. That and
Yeah,
hockey.
we played it too. That got us into it as well.
And that's what kind of got me watching the World Cup. But I was keeping up with them because I used to play with France. Thierry Henry was on that team. He was like the best player in the world.
Yep.
And Zidane was killing it. And they're in the final. Anthony, do you remember this? I think it might have even been extra time or right at the end of the game.
Back in the day, Brazil won.
Towards the end.
Dude,
Brazil won everything.
My man straight up headbutts this dude in his chest. Hard as shit. And gets kicked out. That was his last game he ever played. One of the best players of all time. I couldn't believe it. And they lost in penalty shots, I believe. I think that was in extra time.
Yep, it was either right at the beginning, extra time, right at the end of regulation or something. It was at the very end, and he ended up getting thrown out.
Go watch that video, Anthony, of that headbutt in the World Cup final. It was a crazy-ass moment. And from, like, the best player in the world, or one of them, one of the best players of all time. My only other, like, big, when I think of World Cups, I think about the 30 for 30. Did you guys watch a lot of the 30 for 30s back in the day that came out?
A decent amount.
I think they're still coming out.
They still drop. They don't hype them like they used to, but they still, I guess they ran out of stories or something. But they don't hype them and advertise them like they used to, but they still make some.
Is that Bill Simmons, Josh?
Yeah, Bill Simmons kind of started it, and that's probably why they're not as good as they used to be, because he's not affiliated with ESPN anymore.
They're really good documentaries. All of the early ones. And I've said that the Fab Five was my favorite one, and I'll probably stick with that. But have you ever seen the two Escobars?
Yes.
Have you seen that one, Anthony?
Nope. Maybe I have. I don't know.
That was about the guy's name was Escobar. His last name was Escobar. Played for
Colombia.
Yes, Colombia.
Was he tied in with the cartel and stuff?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
I think I seen that.
and he accidentally scored.
Yeah.
For the other team.
Yep.
And 10 days later,
mm-hmm.
Dude, that was a crazy ass documentary. If you've never seen that, check it out. Anthony, check that one out. It was a good one. But yeah, I'm gonna be watching. Can the USA make a run? Probably not.
Who'd have known? What other podcast could have spent 10 minutes on the World Cup in May? Right here. Quality entertainment right now.
It starts like June 11th.
Yeah.
And it's Memorial Day weekend. It's Memorial Day weekend coming up. Let me ask you this. Out of all your national pride moments, I wish I would have been alive. I guess I forget what year it was, but I don't remember it if I was alive. But the Miracle on Ice, I wish I would have got to experience that. A couple of my most favorite national moments in celebration of Memorial Day, after 9/11. This is probably a lot of people ain't gonna know what I'm talking about, but when Tisnow beat Sakeed, came back, Sakeed had passed him in the Breeders' Cup Classic, and Tisnow had fought back and won. He got passed on the outside by Sakeed, which was the European champion. I actually think he was owned by Godolphin, but Tisnow came back, and Durkin said, Tisnow wins it for America. As a horse racing fan, just the way he came back, that was cool. But probably the one that sticks with me the most is we're here on Memorial Day weekend. Is the Olympics. When the swim team, I think it was the French, they were the big favorites against us. And, it was the relay amongst the team. And going into the last leg, they had a little bit of a lead on us, a decent lead. They should have won it. And that American swimmer caught the wave of the other guy and was just running him down. And, nobody knew who won at the wall, but the Americans got it. Do y'all remember that?
Yeah.
That was
You
cool.
talking about Michael Phelps?
No, he wasn't in the last leg, though. I think he was in that. He was on that team. No, he was on that team. But he wasn't in that leg. Whoever was in that last leg closed some ground, dude. Against a very good swimmer. They said he got on that dude's wave and literally rolled his wave in.
You can kind of draft like you do in NASCAR.
Yeah, but that was
a fun couple of Olympics there with those swim teams.
It was a good rivalry. It's almost like the rivalry with Jamaicans and Americans in the sprint. The French and Americans really had a good rivalry going there in the pool there.
Well, I'm just looking real quick at like all of our downloads and stuff from Blitz to Bookie and the different countries. And we've got tons of Singapore, Vietnam, Spain, Germany, Brazil, Chile, India. Dude, they want more World Cup.
They've
been waiting for this moment.
There's a dating service out there that hooks you up with different women all over the world. And I've been just dabbling. I've been dabbling, so they download the podcast and stuff. So might get them from everywhere. I'll send them $200, and next thing you know, they download. So
When I think about like a patriotic moment, I think about it was right after 9/11. Was it George Bush throwing out the
yeah,
first pitch?
yeah, I remember.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty big, I feel like.
Do y'all remember the Tisnow Sakeed deal? If you haven't, go watch it. I mean,
No.
it'll put cold chills down you. So Sakeed was Godolphin, and at the time, Godolphin, they weren't not respected, but they were Arab. They weren't as well accepted as they are now. People know Godolphin's great people now. They know they're horsemen, but at the time, it was right after 9/11, and it probably wasn't right, but people had a chip on their shoulder, and Sakeed was the big champion over in Europe. I mean, he had dominated, and he come in, he was making a big, powerful move on the outside and passed Tisnow up. Horses don't come back after they get passed up.
Right, they don't.
Chris McCarron shook the reins at him, dude. Tisnow was known as a fighter, and he came back and he won the British Cup Classic by nose. But he came back, and Durkin said, "Tisnow wins it for America." And I mean, it was just, for him to call it, because it was such a close finish. But, them guys watching enough races, they know. But when he said Tisnow wins it for America, that was cold chills.
You got one, Josh? You're one of your favorite? Is it the Mighty Ducks or something? Or what you got?
Honestly, man, just the most recent one with Steph Curry when he hit all those threes at the end in the last Olympics. That was probably just the most recent one, was just LeBron just let him cook. One of Steph Curry's final heat checks of his life, pulling from wherever and to beat France like that. So the pre-dominant Wemby.
I guess one of us should have said the dream team, right?
Yeah, but we beat everybody by 90. So
Yeah, nobody.
I know. It was
You
still
know-
fun though, man. I remember laying on my grandma's floor watching that. It was unbelievable.
The team was
It's fun.
unbelievable. The
Yeah.
only player they missed on the team was Isaiah Thomas. Jordan didn't want him on the team. Isaiah should have been on the team, but him and Jordan had a beef. And
Who you taking off? Who you taking off?
Leitner
Yeah,
all day.
I get that.
They
Yeah,
should have
Leitner.
Shaq in. They should have had Shaq over Leitner.
Yeah,
Anyway.
Leitner didn't deserve it. He was on the team with men. That was, in my mind, the greatest team ever assembled. But I tell you what that team did. Just because I knew a couple European players, my buddy Slavko played tennis. I had a couple other European friends when I went to college. The Dream Team really helped the NBA kind of spread their brand throughout the world. And my buddy said everybody was a fan of the Dream Team. The Dream Team even talks about it. Like during those games, players from other teams would get them to come up and sign jerseys and stuff,
Right. Yeah.
before they played them. I mean, that was their heroes. They weren't all just playing these guys. The game was just kind of growing over in Europe and stuff. And that is the one cool thing that I like about basketball right now in the NBA. I don't know if there's any other sport in the world that has grown. Soccer, you probably could say, but we don't do that much soccer here. But for an American sport that we really participate in, basketball has really become an international sport. And I think it's becoming more and more an international sport every day.
I mean, baseball's getting that way. I mean, the best player in the baseball's Japanese, and then there's so many Dominicans and Cubans and Mexicans
But
and
it's-
Venezuelans. I mean,
You know-
Yeah, but
you
they're
know
they
what-
almost all come from South America, right? Or or Central America, or
You know what I think really started that though, or really got it going? Yao Ming.
okay.
yeah,
That was a big moment for them because China, exploded over there with Yao Ming. It was going on a little bit before then. I mean, there's been plenty of them from our childhood. I mean, you got Petrovic, Dirk,
Vlade Divac.
late
The
90s.
Sacramento
Vlade.
Kings whole team.
There was
yeah,
a there was a bu-
Stojakovic, yeah, Turkaloo.
man, I
Vlade.
feel like that China explosion with Yao Ming, I feel like that took it to the next level.
Yeah.
And it hasn't stopped. And I give the NBA credit. That's one thing they do great is their global marketing. I feel like they've been doing that for 20 years now. Solid, like trying to push it.
They're really able to tap into the Eastern European countries because they're tall. Like, all them Peja, Kukoc, all them guys, they're all from the old Yugoslavia, which is Croatia, Bosnia, and Serbia. Vlade, all them guys. But that's a very tall. My buddy that played tennis, that's from Croatia. They're very tall people. Them Eastern European people are very tall. You get into all those countries over, and they're just tall, and so the sport fits them. And I think that's also another reason soccer is so popular in a lot of other countries, because you don't got to be tall to play it. A lot of these countries just aren't as big as Americans or big as Eastern Europeaners or, Germans or Yugoslavians or Croatians. I mean, it takes a big person to compete in football and basketball. So I think that's why you see growth in some areas. And I don't know where Shohei come from because not a lot of Japanese people are that big, but
Oh, where
he
the
come
hell
from
did
somewhere.
Yao Ming
Godzilla.
come?
That's Godzilla's kid.
Yeah. Yao Ming, Shohei, where the hell they're aliens, aren't they?
Yeah.
Speaking of
Are the
aliens,
French are
Wimbenyama's
the
getting ready to
French
walk
usually
back in. It's a big month.
are the
Dang.
French
He's
usually
big, dude.
7'7"?
He's listed as 7'4", but I was reading an article like probably halfway through the season that they think some people think he's lying. They think he's like 7'6".
Well, he's just so damn athletic to be that tall. I've seen like guys tall like that, but he's athletic, dude. Like it's
Who was
almost
it?
unfair. It's
Who
like
was
it's
it?
almost unfair, dude. He's like going up trying to block shots nobody else can block, dude. It's
You
hard
see
to
it every
score
once in
him.
a while. It was unfair when Shaq first came in the league. I remember
Yeah.
thinking,
Yeah.
dude, Shaq should score 50 points and 20 rebounds every game.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody could stop him. The basket couldn't even stop him. He was tearing them down.
Well, they
Yeah.
were talking about who was it? I was seeing a thing. They were talking about Shaq, and like if you wanted to beat Shaq in the playoffs, you had to build your team to beat Shaq.
Yeah.
You had to have 3 dudes 7 foot, 275. You had just for the fouls because you're going to have to foul him 15 times. So you had to build your roster, for the playoffs to have 3 guys that can just foul out against Shaq because that's what's going to happen.
I heard somebody's podcast and they were talking about that with Victor is that seeing the success Minnesota kind of had against him and teams have had against him being physical with him, like that's the way to guard him. It's not just one person, just a lot of people being physical with him all game. That you'll start to kind of what you said, Josh. If you're out there in the Western Conference and you want a chance to get by them and you're a competitor, you might start getting a couple specialist type players to be physical with him. You're not going to out tall him. You're not going to out challenge him. You got to be physical with him, wear him down, make him take contested shots, make him get frustrated. That's why he gave that elbow. He got frustrated because they kept getting into his body. That's how you guard that guy. I'm not saying it works every time, but you're not going to out tall that guy. Like you're going to have to get physical with him with 2 or 3 guys.
Definitely not out tall him.
No, but I mean, you're not going to like just guard him straight up. You got to hit him every chance you get. You got to bump him every chance you get. And, hopefully it wears on him. Shaq said he would have broke him in half. And I kind of believe that.
Well, that's what great teams and great players do. They force other teams to go out of their way to be able to stop them. I mean, you see it in football sometimes,
Yeah.
just for example, like maybe the Cowboys and the Giants are trying to do something to be able to beat the Eagles or whatever the case may be. You got Kansas City who's on a 5-year run, a few years ago, and teams in their division are trying to figure out a way to build their team to beat Patrick Mahomes,
Absolutely.
So
Well,
that's what happens.
With the game of football, I think as a whole, like it chases things. Like, the reason the option became unpopular in college football, late 80s, early 90s, because everybody built defenses to stop it. Like this is how you stop it. Well, everybody went away from that and they went to a spread. Well, nobody could stop the spread at first because they had all these big linebackers and big safeties, hard hitting safeties. Well, defenses adjusted. So they started getting linebackers that were more like DBs. So they had, brought in, the dime packages and stuff with extra DBs on the field. So they say now in pro football, the big thing going on right now, and you're seeing with a lot of teams are loading up on tight ends because what people are doing is the Rams did it last year. They had multiple tight ends. The Bears have some good tight ends, but what they're doing is they're getting all these tight ends on the field and they're trying to create mismatches against all these small DBs because all these linebackers are undersized now. They can guard, and they're getting these big tight ends. And I listened to a guy on ESPN, and it made sense that that's the big new thing is throwing multiple tight ends out there and trying to create mismatches. Will Stein, that's what he's known for at Oregon, trying to get tight ends on the field and creating mismatches against smaller DBs. So it's always a cat and mouse game, trying to kind of catch up to whatever's going on.
Dude, the Bears got like 3 tight ends.
Bears are good. The Bears are good.
I heard somebody talking about them a week or 2 ago. Who they got? Cole Kmet.
They got Colston Loveland.
Colston Loveland, and they drafted the
yes.
What tight end did they draft? A good one.
They're on the
can't
cutting
remember
edge, dude.
I
Did
can't
they do
remember where
the guy from
where he
Oregon,
went.
maybe? No.
I can't remember, but they got 3 really good tight ends. I was just heard somebody talking about that not too long ago.
Remember the guy for the Rams in the playoff that really had his big coming out? He had a good year as a rookie, but he had a real big coming out party in the playoffs. That big red-headed tight end for the Rams, Ferguson.
Yeah.
He's good.
He had that one freaking awesome catch over there on the sideline. I forgot
He's good.
what game that
He,
was. I think he won him
he
a game.
Yeah, he's good. But that's the new thing. And I think that's kind of what Will Stein likes to do. You know, at Oregon, he had multiple tight ends. And I know with Willie Rodriguez, I know that's kind of that was one of their first goals when he got there was to keep Willie. They really like Willie, but we got some other good tight ends too. And I think that's the new thing in football now is everybody's throwing all these undersized linebackers out there. These coaches are kind of the new thing is throwing all the tight ends out there.
Yeah, the
Well,
Bears
that's
got the dude Sam Roush from Stanford.
yeah,
That's
that's
going to be
who it
hard to
was.
handle.
Well, the 2 tight end look is not new. It might have went away for a while, but when you guys think 2 tight ends, what's the first thing you think?
Oh, Gronk and Aaron Hernandez.
Gronk and Aaron Hernandez, dude.
Did they put them on the field at the same time a lot?
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
They were unstoppable for like I guess 2 years maybe.
Yeah,
until
at
he
least.
got in his trouble. But there was a point there where I thought Aaron Hernandez was better than Gronk.
Me too. Yeah.
That might have been true. Of course, Gronk went on to be one of the greatest of all time. I don't know if Hernandez would have ended up doing that had he not got in trouble. But when it was going on, I kind of liked Hernandez game a little bit better than Gronk's.
You look at all the big dynasties and good runs by pro teams, they all had that star tight end. You know, of course, up there with New England with Gronk and Hernandez, out there with the 49ers. You had Jones out there with the Cowboys. Who was theirs? Novacek? Was that Novacek or was he a fullback?
Jay Novacek?
They had a
Yeah,
good tight end. I forget who
tight
it
end.
was.
He was tight end, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Moose Johnson was like the fullback.
Yeah. It's you know, when Brady first went to the Buccaneers, he, you know, made sure, you know, whatchamacallit came with him there. It seems like all your really good teams really have good tight ends, man. I think a tight end is a very, especially if you got a stud tight end, such a valuable piece to your team.
Yeah, Peyton Manning had Dallas Clark for years.
Really? Jacob Tammy, baby.
Didn't he? Oh, well, he had Shannon Sharp in Denver.
That's
Yeah.
right. No, dude, if you
No, yeah,
think
Vernon
about it,
Davis.
there's always
Vernon
been that star
Davis.
tight end. Yeah.
He had
Vernon
Vernon
Davis.
Davis.
You better give a shout out to Vernon Davis, our favorite tight end here at Blitz the Bookie.
Yeah. So you think about it, almost all your great NFL teams almost all had like star tight ends. I
Yeah,
think it's an important part.
tight ends definitely super important.
Tight end
studs.
talk here in May. Let's go.
I love it.
I love it.
Well, we've been bouncing around,
Yeah.
but I love it. I don't even
Me
care.
too.
Hey, well, let's touch on the Preakness a little bit. Anthony,
I mean, I'm still. Yeah,
I
you
liked
go.
it. I had a winner. So I liked it. I had the
Anthony
exact.
had a winner. Did not give it to us last week.
During horse race week, we call him No Tip Tony.
No
He
tip
gives us
Tony.
no tips. No tips, Tony, baby.
Dude, I'm
Yeah.
like Charlie. I'm a last second better, dude. I'm a last second better. I am, dude. Like I did like.
I would be too if you sent me one late.
But I did tell Charlie I like Napoleon Solo on the hell we did. That's who I told him. You know, that's who I liked. But dude, I'm telling you, I wish I never got on Napoleon Solo. I truly believe, no BS, no nothing. If I don't get on that hell we did, and the only reason I liked him, if really I didn't like him for the horse racing part of it. I thought he was going to be a really good horse because of who his mom was and dad, and there are just some angles I liked there, and I got caught up in that. But if I didn't get on him, dude, I would have had it all. Because, you know, of course, Napoleon, ended up getting on him. The honor horse, that was, you know, kind of a horse I liked all week. I told y'all that.
Yeah, we knew about him.
And then Osili, I was using him in my exotics. And Chip Honcho, I could have easily came up with him because I kind of liked him a little bit. Dude, I could have had all that. Like, I just could have had all that pretty easy, I think, if I just didn't get on that hell we did, you know. But I had a good Preakness, but I didn't win much leading up to it. I got close. I got beat out at the wire. I would have hit a double and a pick 3. Charlie, you had that one horse. I forget what race it was, but the biggest thing I took from the Preakness was I liked the Preakness race, but it was such a weak undercard,
Mm-hmm.
for that big of a day.
Yep.
Yeah, Preakness Day is not usually very big though. Belmont Day for horse racing fans, maybe besides the Breeders' Cup, might be the best day of
Second
racing.
biggest day. I'd say
Well,
second.
maybe
I'd
you know,
say
Derby. But
Derby's third. I
dude,
think Belmont Day's bigger.
Belmont
Bel-
Day's pretty. That's loaded. It's a
It
loaded
is.
card.
it's better than the Derby Day.
Normally is. You think it is or isn't
Yeah,
better than
I
Derby?
do. I mean, I'm not saying Derby Day is no slouch. Derby Day, and really, if you count both days of Derby Day, the Derby and Oaks, I feel like the Oaks undercard might be better than like the Acorns undercard, which is the Belmont's Oaks. But if you're just looking for Belmont Day, all the big boys come out to play. Um, I heard a good point on, and I already told you this, Shirley, but I'm going to share this with anybody that's listening. Everybody's saying, how the Preakness is broke and the schedule of it's broke. And I'm not saying I disagree with it. I'm not saying I agree with it. But a guy made a good point. We've had some crazy situations. Of course, last year with Belmont Sovereignty, this year with Golden Tempo, we had some long shots in there. That argument can be made. He says, well, just wait the next year and everything will be back to normal. He says, next year, the Belmont goes back to 1.5 miles. And there'll be a lot of people that skip the Belmont. That was
Mm-hmm. Right.
traditionally what people did. Not a lot of people want to run in 1.5 mile long race. The reason they've been skipping the Preakness and going to the Belmont is because for the last 4 or 5 years, the Belmont's been ran 1.25 miles since they've been working on the new Belmont Park. But when it goes back to 1.5 miles, I really think I agree with him that you'll start to see more horses running the Derby and Preakness and then take the Belmont off until the Haskell and Travers come around midsummer. Not a lot of people want to run in that 1.5 mile race. So I thought that was a very good point he brought up as we talk about how the Preakness, everybody keeps skipping the Preakness. Really, it's happened during this time period when the Belmont's become the 1.25 mile race.
Well, you can remember back in the days, and tell me if I'm wrong here, Anthony, but there'd be a lot of short fields in the Belmont race.
There ain't many horses bred for that. There ain't many
because they
horses bred
don't.
for that.
You'd have 5, 6, 7 horse fields in the Belmont.
Yeah. Yeah. It's you just would. You just would. And some horses would take off right after the Derby and just not running nothing. But a lot of horses would come back in the Preakness because sometimes it was a little bit easier race. It was a little bit shorter race. If you couldn't get that 1.25 miles, maybe you could get that 1.3/16, which is a 16 shorter. I was kind of thinking like everybody else, like, man, everybody's skipping it. Like, man, how are we going to fix it? I think that's a very valid point the guy made. I really do. I think it's a very valid point. Because at the end of the day, you still want to run enough of the big races. But right now, it's almost like the Derby and the Belmont's perfect spacing. They're both 1.25 miles. Like it just works for a lot of people. But when it goes back to 1.5 miles, you might see them run back to back, Derby Preakness, and take a nice little layoff before they get into the Haskell and Travers and Jim Dandy.
And what do you think about this angle for both of y'all? The reason, I think the Belmont is a better betting day than Derby is because I think the Derby race is such a distraction. It's more of a distraction than the Belmont because you're focused on that 20 horse field. Where in the Belmont, we've learned these horses for several months, and you can kind of take your time to look at these other races because you're already kind of locked in on what you got that's going to be running in the Belmont.
Well, the far as betting value for somebody that thinks they're a good handicapper, and we've talked about it on this show, there's no better day than the Derby. No better day. There's a lot of dumb money out there on Derby Day, dude. A lot of dumb money. A lot of look, nothing against the lady trainer on Taj Mahal this past week at the Preakness. Almost all the professionals agree that they predicted it and it was right. She took way more money than what she should have. That horse shouldn't have been no 9-2.
She
just shouldn't. But as somebody that plays horse racing or gambles in general, what you're looking for is value. To me, I can't go into a horse race. I hate people say you just pick the best horse. I think that's uneducated. When you're at the racetrack, there's odds on the board. And if you want to be a winner long term, you got to be able to pick out value. Now, I'm not saying a lot of times the best horse don't win, but you got to see the value in the race and be able to say, okay, this horse is 3-1. He should be 8-5, but he's 3-1. That's a good bet. Whereas you got another horse that maybe he is 2-1, but he should be 4-1. He might win it, but the value's not there. And if you want to win long term, all the professional handicappers they'll talk about value. So, there is odds involved. So, it's what is a good bet and what isn't a good bet is, subjective.
Yeah, and guess what? That angle is going away because of all the CAW, the computer assisted wagering that's going on in the last 60 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is happening, and it's a major issue right now that a lot of people are not happy with. But that's fucking with your whole process. as
Watch his dunk. Watch his dunk.
trying to find the value. You might think you have it, then all of a sudden you don't have it anymore. So that's a whole nother conversation that honestly I could do a whole probably hour. We could all probably sit here because I've got a lot of thoughts about that. I think it's an issue.
Yeah,
Anthony,
dude, Anthony should have had a bigger exacta at $57.
Yeah, I thought so. But listen, I trust. I'm a little different, but I'd love to have a conversation.
Do you trust? You don't trust nothing else. You call.
I trust that. I don't think
because
I don't think they got a winning formula. They don't have to cheat. Like ball games could be beat. Ball games. The only way horse racing can be beat is one way. The only way horse racing can be beat theoretically is for somebody to come in there and somebody bet $20 million to show on a horse, and so the track guarantees 5% payout no matter what. So it would pay $210 at that point. They couldn't lower the odds on nothing no more. Okay. That's the only way theoretically the track can lose. If A, would they even take that bet? But B, if they took it with the horse, they'd make sure that horse probably didn't show. So that's probably where and I think that's happened before. I do. I think they call them bridge jumpers and they're just big show bettors. Now, I'm not saying 10 million big, 20 million big, but if somebody came in, that theoretically that's the only way the track can lose because the way the track is set up, they just get a cut of that's why it's a pari-mutuel pool. And it's easy for people to say, they want fixed odds. If you get fixed odds, them trainers back there, the people back in the back of the place, they will bankrupt you. They will bankrupt you because the reason they can't bet as much as they want now, because the odds will lower. Like, so they know they've been around the game so much, they know they can only bet 10,000 or their odds are going to start to lower a lot. You start giving them fixed odds, they might start hammering $100,000, $200,000 bets. Sometimes they know when they got a hot horse back there and they've hit him from the public. They've hit his workouts from the public. And so I don't think it's easy as what they say it's going to be. But look, I'm not against, some talk to maybe try to fix things. I definitely think at the small tracks, I'm sketchy about it at the small tracks because it's so drastic at the small tracks. But as far as the big tracks, as long as they're not struggling, they have a winning formula. I don't know why they would have to cheat in that sense.
Because their profit would be bigger.
Yeah.
They got a winning formula, but if they can turn that into more profit per race, why wouldn't they? You don't trust nothing in college football and nothing in the NFL, but you gonna trust this shit? Dude,
well, I'm sure there's people.
I think they definitely have a reason to do some shady shit with the odds at the last second because then they got to pay out less.
Yeah. But I mean, like a lot of their bets are 20-something% takes. If you can't win off 20-something%, I mean, that's good takes, dude.
Well, who's to say we're getting the true number of how much money
you don't know.
You
don't know. I like to think that there's a gaming, just like in Vegas, to make sure them slot machines ain't cheating or the wheels ain't there. I mean, Vegas has their gaming commission. I like to think the, Kentucky Horse Racing Commission checks that stuff. I think your biggest issue with that are tracks that are struggling, because I think that's where their motivation is to cheat. I don't think Churchill has to cheat. Like it's almost like Vegas now. Oh, Vegas, maybe. But Vegas today, you'll hear people say, oh, they're cheating me on these slot machines. They're watching me. Dude, they don't got to. Like, they have a winning formula. Like, why would you mess up something that's great for you? To me, when you start considering cheating is when, maybe you don't have a winning formula, and you have ups and downs and things are hard. I don't know.
Yeah, I've seen people hit slot machines and they come over and tell them that the machine was faulty, or somebody sitting there winning at a blackjack table and they come and tell them you got to get up out of here for no other reason.
That's bullshit. That's the blackjack thing's bullshit because that's card counting. Okay, and what kills me about that is that with card counting, you're okay taking everybody's money. But when somebody does something that's totally you're not using no machine, no nothing, to get a little bit of an edge, you're only getting like a 1 or 2% edge for those hands. So to make that 1 or 2% edge count, you have to bet X amount on those hands. It's not as easy as just getting the cards in your favor and you're going to win. So you're getting a very little edge, and you're going to tell me that now you can't play because of that? That whole blackjack thing is bullshit.
They don't want no
That's
part
bullshit.
of somebody that they know is going to be a winner.
No, that's. I
It
think the
is.
slot
It
machine.
is
I think the
bullshit.
slot machines. I think that is. They don't need to cheat. That's why they comp everybody that comes in there and plays on things because that's their money makers.
how many times have you seen somebody say I won this and they said the machine was faulty? Well,
Yeah.
we can
I'm
call
not saying
bullshit
that's
on
not
that.
true, but some of that's probably bullshit too. People just trying to they knew the whole thing was all crazy. But I'm with you. We've seen those and we've talked about those. If I was a
Casinos are
casino,
dirty.
if I was a casino, not unless it was just a total screw up in the machine and it was obvious, I think I would just pay it out.
I know Anthony would freak out if he hit a fucking jackpot on the damn slot machine and that motherfucker was ringing off, said, you just hit for 250,000. That motherfuckers come over and be like,
I'll be
hey,
mad. Yeah.
the
Would you not be
machine,
mad? I'd be mad.
the machine kind of messed up, so we're gonna give you this voucher here for $100 and a free steak dinner.
No way. No
Anthony
way.
would flip. We'd be see Anthony on the fucking news, son.
Yeah, I would. Would you not? Yeah, I would. Yeah, definitely. I mean, even if
The
I didn't
motherfucker be
believe
like,
in
they
it,
cheat. They are cheating. The fucking casinos are cheaters.
but Charlie, even if I knew that machine screwed up, like I watched it and I seen some wild shit went on, I'm still gonna argue like hell, son. I'm trying to get that 250. Are you not?
Fuck yeah, I would be fucking pissed if that happened.
Even if
man.
you did, even if you knew that machine messed up, tell me you wouldn't be arguing to the hills to try to get it. I would.
All right, well, Belmont will be, I guess, about 2.5 weeks
yeah.
away, right?
Yeah,
2.5
yeah.
weeks away from the Belmont. So
Saratoga.
we'll touch on that a little bit as we get closer. We're looking at a good race though. From what I've seen, Golden Tempo, Renegade, Chief Wallaby, and I think they said Commandment.
Yep. So the odds.
If it was
Brad,
only those 4 horses, I'd be happy. Those are 4 good ones.
Emerging market, Anthony's
That's
emerging
right.
market.
he ain't my horse no more. He didn't have it. Derby Day.
I'm kind of, this became kind of like the wise guy horse on Derby Day, but Patante's coming back.
Yeah. I'd give him another
All
shot.
right.
He had a couple things not go his way. The morning line favorite is slightly Renegade. I think he's 5-1. Not morning line. These are guesstimates, but these are Chief Wallabies really close at 9-2, which I think is very fair. I think Commandment's like 7-1. The next, and then I think Golden Tempo is like 9-1. So, and I kind of like. I think that's fair. I think that's about where Golden Tempo should be. You hear people up in the uproar right now. Well, Golden Tempo shouldn't be 9-1. He should be 9-1. I'm not betting him. Now, maybe at 9-1, I might bet him.
Yeah.
But there's no way he should be 4 or 5-1. Any horse racing guy that is a serious player knows it was a pace meltdown, and he was back there relaxed. Now, he might be able to win it again, and if he does, then I'll tip my hat to him. But that definitely looked like a pace meltdown. It just did look like a pace meltdown.
All right. There was some fights this weekend. Y'all watch them? Josh, did you watch little Nate Diaz, the old man, and then Ronda Rousey, the old woman, and the girl she fought? I'm thinking, yeah, Ronda Rousey's coming back. She ain't been out for a while. The other girl hadn't fought in like 16 years.
They did that for a
17.
check.
Did I hear that right?
That was right. Gina Carano had not fought in 17 years.
That's unbelievable.
Here's her a fun fact here. If y'all look right up here, that is Gina Carano's Lego figure. She was actually on The Mandalorian. But
All
yeah, it's a little, she's in that Lego set. She played Cara Dune in The Mandalorian. She actually
Really?
got canceled for saying some political stuff and got fired. The whole other long story. But yeah, Gina Carano was actually on American Gladiators when it came back. She was Crush on the American Gladiators.
She looks like an American Gladiator.
Dude, that show was great. That show was great. They should bring it back again. Like, that is a great show, dude.
They did try to bring it back.
Why
Yeah,
did it not
back,
work?
They brought it back 2 other times since we were 10 years old.
Dude, that's a
Yeah.
great
But she
show.
was on the second comeback. Gina Carano was Crush. And that's when me and the wife Heather had learned about her and we started following her from that. It's Heather's girl crush is Gina Carano.
Well, speaking of crush, she got her arm crushed. And she probably got her feelings crushed too, because I literally walked to grab a drink, I think, out of the refrigerator. And it probably took me 17 or 18 seconds. And How long did the fight last, Josh?
16 seconds. It was hilarious. We were texting back and forth with my brother Chad, and me and him were texting. And Charlie chimes in. I missed it.
I
You
thought
try
I
to
had
grab
it
the
timed
drink.
up good. I thought I had it timed up good too. Like I knew I was gonna maybe miss a couple seconds, but
It's all it
it's
took.
over. It was over when I walked back in, and I was like, "What the?" Yeah, so I didn't get to even see it. I saw the replay, and
You try to grab the drink. She tried to grab Ronda Rousey's neck, and that was a mistake.
And it was funny. I think we were in the group text and said, "Do you actually think Gina can win?" I was like, "Just as long as Ronda doesn't get her on the ground." And she got her on the ground.
That was a payday for both those girls.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But you could just tell, like, Gina Carano, she didn't even know she was in a fight until it was over. She was probably expecting to kind of go in there like, "Hey man, let's kind of play this up for the cameras a little bit, maybe do a little striking." Next thing you know, she's on the ground, her arms in three pieces.
she about pulled her arm off.
Yeah, she could have. Yeah. I
She
mean, it
tapped
was,
quick.
You would too if she was about to pull your arm off.
Yeah. Once she gets you in there, you know it's over.
yeah.
Hell yeah, it's like either tap out or get your shoulder pulled out,
Yeah.
or your elbow broke or some shit, or
Yeah.
both.
I
mean, what
watched
y'all-
the Redneck Brawl. It was a big setup in the Redneck Brawl this week. There was a bunch of rivalries that went down this week. Hinkle broke his leg, and there's some Benzo Brandy won. They were
Benzo
fighting for him.
Brandy.
That's her
what's his-
name. That's her name. Benzo Brandy won. I think Cornbread won. And so there were some good fights on the Redneck Brawl. If you ain't ever watched the Redneck Brawl, check it out. We're
What
gonna
did you
have
think of the production, Charlie? Of the the actual show of it? Did you enjoy it?
I didn't watch it like that.
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't watch it. I literally turned it on 5 to 6 minutes before the Diaz fight.
Okay.
Perfect timing. I think I'd even forgot about it and like saw it on social media or something. Jumped on, perfect timing. They were about to come out, and then I don't even think I sat in front of the TV in between fights. I got up and did something, so I didn't watch the production.
I mean, the first they had 5 fights total. You saw the final 2, but the first 3 fights, and I even think Diaz's fight, it was called after the first round, right?
No, they
Yes.
made it to the second round.
Did he?
Yeah, I think
not.
did they make it through 2?
I think they just made it through 1, and then they called it because it was going to be 2. Maybe, I don't know.
You might be right.
But the first 3 fights all ended in the first round knockouts.
Did
Well,
first,
as you guys as UFC fans, let me ask y'all this.
I'll tell you right, I'm not a UFC
Okay.
fan at all.
I'm not-
I was
I'm
just
not
I
either.
watching
watch
this
it a
'cause
little
was on-
bit, but
on
I like.
Netflix. I wanted to see Gina Carano and Ronda Rousey fight. Let's just see these girls beat each other up. And
They must be struggling for like big names or something to bring all these old people back. So they must be struggling for stars.
this wasn't a UFC fight. This is
Okay,
a whole
okay.
separate entity. It's like WWE
Paul?
and
Jake
you
Paul.
know NXT.
Yeah,
So,
I gotcha.
but yeah, Jake Paul created this thing on Netflix.
Oh,
and
did
he's
he?
trying to
I
build
guess.
it up.
I guess. So yeah, that's cool.
Right. He's trying to build it up to rival the UFC, trying to
Dude,
get these
you
people more
watch it.
paydays and all that.
he's already talking shit about Dana White. Did you see it?
Yeah.
He'll build it up. But they love Jake Paul, dude, and he seems to pull the right strings, dude. I bet you he'll build this up. You watch. They love Jake Paul, or whatever Paul it is. I don't know.
Yes, Jake Paul. Logan Paul's on WWE.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was okay. It entertained me for a Saturday night in a limited sports world, during the summer. But it was a lot. It was too long in between fights. They milked it. I mean, I could imagine we'd still be up waiting on that fight. Imagine if all those fights went 3 rounds. I mean, it would have been off at 2, 3 in the morning. So, just not the best, but on a 1 to 5, I'll give it a 3.
just all right. It was just all right. All right, so NBA's going on. We're sitting here watching. Anthony, are you watching?
Nope.
No?
But I'm trying to check out what scores.
San Antonio and OKC. I think OKC's up by like 9 right now, somewhere, something like that. San Antonio's up. They won game 1 in overtime, right? I think it was overtime.
Yes, yeah, double overtime.
Wemby just took over. He was dunking on people, grabbing rebounds over, like straight over top of people. Then he knocked down the 3 like he was Steph Curry. I don't know what we're watching, but he is a monster. I don't know where the hell he came from. Where did the Monstars come from?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Wasn't there a
But
name? Wasn't there a name for that?
yeah, let me see.
We're gonna have
This is
to
the
look
way I
up
look
where-
at that game. The way I look at that first game, this is my angle. It took him to have that kind of game for them to beat him in 2 overtimes. I don't think he can have. I think he's like maybe the best player in the NBA, but I don't think he can have that kind of game every game. So I
And
think,
SGA had his worst game of the year, and so did Chet.
yeah. So
Chet Homer, and he was held to 8. That was his lowest total of the year.
for him to have that big a game and them need 2 overtimes to win, my angle is OKC's the better team. He can't have that game every game. That's my angle. I'm not saying it's right, but that's my angle. If he has that kind of game every game, he'll be the best player in the NBA when the series is over.
I think I said it a week or two ago that, he's probably going to have to go through losing this series once or twice before he learns how to win it. But, you see him win game 1, and it does give you the thought like, man, can they really do this? But look, there's a chance it might be 4-1. Maybe OKC just gave them one. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how this thing plays out. It's I think 9-point game right here, still in the first half. So
It's almost halftime. He only got 5 points.
How many rebounds and blocks does he have? Because that's the thing with him. He'll score, but he can affect the game.
4 rebounds and 1 block.
When we were going to do this on Monday, when when the shit hit the fan and we wasn't able to do it Monday, I had this whole big rant that I was going to do on the NBA, and it sucking because I think the playoffs have been really bad. They did the game 7 with Detroit and Cleveland at 8:00 on Sunday on Amazon Prime. I'm like, what is this company doing? I mean, then it's a blowout. I was like, I'm ready to rip I got my notes here. That I'm just going to rip the NBA. And then I watched the game Monday night. And I'm like, this is the best product on earth. This is my favorite thing ever. I love the NBA. Put my Wemby jersey on. Go France. It was,
Josh,
I had this whole big rant.
Josh. No,
I had this whole big rant I was going to go on. And then even last night's game was great. That was overtime. Knicks down 22, come back, and the James Harden just gets totally exposed. So
like he always does in the playoffs.
Yes. But I just thought, like, man, that would have been a great little TikTok of me ripping the NBA, and then we have the 2 greatest games of the season next 2 nights.
We got Shohei and the Wemby lovers around here, son. It's Memorial Day weekend.
The NBA.
Anthony, the whole time he had his USA Soccer jersey on. The whole time we never even noticed it.
Dude, the NBA hasn't had an American MVP since like 2017. We are.
Is he done?
Yeah. Who is the last one?
I think it was James Harden.
Wow.
Well, I will say this. I think the NBA didn't suspend Wemby over at elbow because they knew this was going to be their series. They knew it, and they're keeping their fingers crossed.
Decision.
That I'm sure they want to keep the series close. So keep an eye on that. Like as the officials, I'd say they want OKC to win this game. I bet you that matters.
I think it was a business. It was for sure a business decision.
Yeah.
So all 3 of our teams are in. You 2 got these 2. I think Anthony's got OKC and Josh has got the Spurs. And I picked the Knicks, and let's go, baby. I told you I picked like the 9th best team in the playoffs, and they're still going, and they're up 1-0. The Knicks and the Spurs in the finals. What's that sound like? The Knicks and the Spurs. Let's go.
I think whoever wins this is going to smoke whoever comes out of the East.
I agree, Josh.
Oh, I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Get good.
That's not a hot take at all.
Knicks. No, it's not. The Knicks, look, they're looking good, but they're in the East. They would not even still be playing if they were in the West. So we'll see what happens tonight. This is a big game right here because
it is.
The Spurs can pull this out and be up 2-0. Pressure is on. So we'll see what happens. NHL, our Ducks are out, Anthony. You got another jersey? Your Flyers?
I got all kinds of them.
Our Ducks are out. Who's left now? Josh's Avalanche, Colorado Avalanche.
We're playing we're down 1-0 to the Knights right now.
The Knights, where are they from?
That's Vegas. That's Vegas. That's who I'm rolling with.
Who else is left?
In the East, you got the the Canadians and the Hurricanes, Carolina and Montreal. I know who you got there, Anthony.
You know, like
I'll be really surprised if he comes back in with a Canadians jersey on, Canadian sweater. I mean, with a boot with a battle strap.
The Hurricanes.
Oh,
What?
oh, he's
What?
got a Hurricanes jersey. My man says he doesn't like hockey.
Bussy, baby.
He says
Bussy.
he don't like soccer. He's a closet World Cup, NHL, hockey loving. Well, you got a Capitals jersey for me? Sweater?
We're gonna call him Mr. International.
I told you about them battle straps,
International.
all right? I told you about the battle straps. Here's the battle straps.
Oh, legit. That means it's legit. That means he's only
It's
rocks
legit.
authentic.
They
No
put those
bootleg
in their
stuff for
pants.
Anthony.
They put those in their pants so when they get in a fight, they don't can't pull up their shirt.
Who's 32, Anthony?
Bussy. He's a very popular player.
Bussy.
I think he's
All
a
right.
goalie. I
Is
think
that-
he is.
Is that
What?
Busey? Is that
Busey? Yeah, B-U-S-S-I-E. I mean, B-U-S-S-I. Busey. My nickname's Bootsy, so
Who's the one
Bootsy.
dude? Who's the one dude? Busey. What's his first name?
Who? Gary Busey, the actor.
Gary Busey. Yeah. He got Gary Busey jersey. So Anthony's jumping on the Hurricanes
I like it.
bandwagon. I'm gonna go with the Golden Knights.
There you go. You're
Bad-
winning right
bad
now.
ones.
Second
They're
period, up 1-0.
What
Yeah,
kind of
they're on
jersey you
ESPN.
want, Charlie?
Capitals.
Which
Ovechkin.
color are they?
Red, white, and blue, bro.
Okay. Oh, okay. I
What
didn't
you
know.
mean?
That makes sense. That makes
The
sense.
Washington Capitals. You should love them.
I got Kings jerseys, Hurricanes. I got the green and yellow one. Is that the Ducks? I don't know. The green
Yeah,
and yellow.
probably.
Ducks. Yeah.
I got two Kings jerseys. I got the Philly jersey is probably my favorite. That's the orange one, orange and black one.
Let me give y'all. Hey, Charlie, do you know they don't call them jerseys in hockey? You know what they call them?
Sweater.
Yeah. So you need to start calling them sweaters, Anthony, so you seem like a real hockey fan.
That's part of his thing where he
Okay.
acts like he doesn't know.
Oh, right. Yes. I don't know what I've seen is.
Blades of Steel. Remember Blades of Steel.
Speaking of Blades of Steel, I've got it. That game does not hold up.
It does not.
It is not good. It is. I don't know how I used to love that game. It's
'Cause you
not
could
good.
fight.
And not only is it not good, it's hard as fuck to play. Josh, when's the
Yes.
last time you played that game?
It was probably 15, 20 years ago, enough to where I know, like, dude, because I thought I was going to like it, but I never really liked it in the first place
I thought it was
I
pretty
did.
good.
because it was hard.
It's hard. I'll get y'all to try to play it next time y'all are over here. This shit is hard. I like the other game, the ice hockey game.
Yeah,
With
where
the
you just
skinny
the skinny
guys.
dude, the fat dude, and
Yes.
yeah,
I
that's
like
a better
that one
game.
I like that one better.
Blades of Steel, you could fight.
Yeah, but you had to figure out how to get to fight, dude. It was, I mean, just the
Dude, y'all
face-off
sucked. I was
is a
good at Blades of
disaster.
Steel, dude. I was good
Wait,
at Blades of Steel.
Wait, we're gonna put that in. And I'm
Let's
gonna see how
go.
good you are.
Let's
Anthony.
go.
It's
You've
too-
been practicing, but I'll still take you on.
Dude, it's literally 2 buttons, and you can't figure out how to play.
Might have to do a TikTok video on Blades of Steel.
Yeah.
You see who can. Maybe I'll do one while we're playing it and see how bad we are.
Yes.
Do you believe in miracles?
All right, guys, y'all got anything else? I know there was
That's
some
it.
news today. Aaron Rodgers news. Little, I guess he's going to do his farewell tour this year. He
Yep.
announced that this is going to be his last year. So he's rolling it back one more time with Pittsburgh, and this is going to be the last year for old Aaron Rodgers.
I like it for him, you know. And me and Anthony kind of talked before the show how I think we both kind of have the same opinion on him. We kind of liked him at the beginning, but the longer he has stayed around, I really haven't liked him as much.
I loved
don't
him. I didn't like him. I loved him. A big
Mhm.
Aaron Rodgers. He's kind of like Patino for me. I really liked Aaron Rodgers a lot. I think he was super talented. I think he's one of the best to ever do it. But I don't like what kind of teammate he is, and it just really turns me off. It
Yep.
really does.
Mhm.
I don't care how good you are, how good you're not. Be a good teammate. That's a given, especially when you got kids watching you, and those people have such a good life and whatever. That's what the market calls for. But you're a millionaire, you're a superstar. you can at least be a role model to kids and,
Yeah.
show them what, a team sport is. And the dude just act like he always was better than everybody at the end. I didn't know that's who he was. So I'd heard that and I just never seen it. And I seen it at the end.
I actually liked him a lot when he first came in the league. Then I kind of went away towards the end of his time at Green Bay. And it was mainly because people like Anthony were calling him the greatest quarterback on the planet.
He's good.
Or
He was good,
ever
dude. He was good.
To ever play football. So that kind of took me away from him. Although I knew how good he was, but I kind of went away from him. I'm kind of back on board with Aaron Rodgers. I don't know why. I'm kind of back on board. The role model thing, I can see both sides. Because to be honest, I like how you think, Anthony, but it's not any of these people's job to be a role model to anybody. Honestly, it's really not.
I disagree, but that's okay.
They're obligated to be a role model.
When you make that much money and you're a pro athlete, I think so. But that's you're not obligated, and you're not obligated to do nothing in life.
I don't think they're obligated to. Now, I hate that anybody's asshole to kids or anything like that, but I think that a lot of that gets forced on some of these guys to where they're just athletes, and next thing you know, they're supposed to be out in front and in the media and doing all this stuff, and it's easy to say just because they make a bunch of money. I don't think they're
They like cashing those jersey checks when kids buy their jerseys, kids buy their football cards. They like cashing them jersey and football card checks. But, now that they've already made a bunch of their money, to not care about the people that got you there, I just don't like that.
No, I get that. So, yeah, last of Aaron Rodgers. We'll see if the Steelers are any good this year. They went out and picked up
They got Michael Pittman from the Colts.
Michael Pittman. I want to say they got another wide receiver too, to go along with DK, who's basically a possession receiver now.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what I don't like about Aaron Rodgers right now. I don't think he's made a good old man quarterback. Like some people are good and they're like Brady never used his legs, and so did Big Ben. Like it never was a big deal. Like that they weren't able to run when they got older. That was part of Rodgers' game. His mobility was part of his game, and I just don't think Rodgers is a very good mobile quarterback. And especially in today's game, you got to be able to run around a second. That's just the way the game is played now. And
well, as soon as he left his franchise, he went and 2 minutes into his new franchise, they can't protect him, and he gets broken half.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you, that's how
he's 40-something. How mobile you want the guy to be?
That is how arrogant that son of a bitch is. Because let me tell you, Brady was smart. Brady went to a super team.
Brady got hurt earlier in his career, though.
Yeah, but listen, I wasn't a big fan of Brady running off for New England like that because I think Brady knew the cupboard was bare because that's what happens when you win a bunch of years in a row. And I think he ran off and he went down there with the super team and made himself look good. But that team would have won it with a lot of people. But at least he was smart enough to do that. Rodgers was so arrogant in how good he was. He went to the damn Jets. All these old quarterbacks, they always go to good teams. Montana went to the Chiefs, which were really good. Brett Favre, where'd he go? Minnesota, which was pretty good. They're smart. They're smart. They're not quarterbacks for no reason. And this arrogant asshole thinks he can go to the Jets and win. That's when he thinks a lot of himself.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's all we got. Y'all got anything else y'all want to touch on before we jump off here? Yeah, we've been scatterbrained this episode. I feel like we jumped to like 15 different topics back and forth, but felt like a good show. Guys, as always, appreciate everybody listening. I know this is a slow time in sports, but we're going to find ways to have fun with it. I was thinking, what if we have a bracket of the best brackets? The best random brackets, but a bracket of the brackets. Are y'all with me? Or is it just too late? Am I delirious?
No,
I was thinking about that the other day, and I was like, I was twisting my brain, but I knew what I was trying to think. A bracket of all the best brackets.
And then whoever wins that bracket, we do the actual bracket.
We do. Josh, we're right here, bro. We're right here. If nobody else knows, me and you, we're right here, big dog.
Brackets on brackets, baby.
We'll have a movie bracket. We'll have a cereal. We need to do a cereal bracket. I've been wanting to do a cereal bracket.
Okay.
I love every cereal. Do y'all dislike any cereal?
Raisin Bran.
I'm not a big fan.
Dude,
Not a big
I'll
fan.
eat Raisin Bran, sprinkle a little sugar on it, but I do like some Raisin Bran. It's kind of plain, but
Yeah.
the only
So
one
y'all
I
add sugar to
love
y'all's
is like
cornflakes?
cornflakes, some cornflakes.
I just don't eat.
That's-
I just don't eat cornflakes. If I gotta add something to it, I don't want it.
I add sugar to it because you can add as much as you want.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
There'll
We
be
are
like
having a
there'll be
cereal
that much
bracket.
sugar in the bottom of my bowl. Like I'll
That
put
was
my
the-
spoon down in there and I can feel the sugar in the bottom of my bowl. And
That
that's
was the
even
best
after me
part.
stirring it.
He's over. He drinks his milk. And he's just chewing on the sugar,
Hell yeah.
just gritting the teeth.
Oh, taking me back to
I'm
my
glad I'm not the
childhood.
only one that does that.
I haven't done that. I haven't done the sugar thing on the bottom of the bowl in a while, but I might have to do that because that takes me back to my childhood. I used to do that shit. Put so much on it, and at the end, you just scoop up the sugar. Let's
Yep.
go.
God,
We are
I
having
ain't thought about
that's-
that in a long time.
That's gonna be our first one. Cereal bracket. I could eat any cereal. So
Guys,
we're gonna have some
happy
fun with
Memorial
it.
Day weekend. I hope everybody has a happy Memorial Day weekend.
Yes.
Remember that freedom is not free, and have a great weekend.
All right.
Yes, Memorial Day weekend, guys. We'll catch y'all next week. Continue to hit us up on all the social media platforms and tell a friend about us. Catch us on the second half. Blitz the bookie.
See ya.
Peace. See y'all.
Charlie got the mic, he's dropping facts all day. Anthony's like, nah, I got the better parlay. Argue about the spread, it's a fierce debate. But when it comes to Wildcats, they align their fate. Blitz the bookies where the knowledge reigns. Charlie and Anthony bring the heat like flames. Talking parlays, breaking down the games. Kentucky Wildcats, they beat the same drums. Late nights, hustle deals on the line. Charlie Stats, he's gonna make you shine. Anthony's heart where the numbers combine. Put your cash down, ride the incline. Blitz the bookies where the knowledge reigns. Charlie and Anthony bring the heat like flames. Talking parlays, breaking down the games. Kentucky Wildcats, they beat the same drums. From the tip off to the final play, they grind. Mike's on fire, bets on their minds. Arguing odds till the last rewind. Blue and white, it's a bond you'll find. The bookies where the knowledge reigns. Charlie and Anthony bring the heat like flames. Talking parlays, breaking down the games. Kentucky Wildcats, they beat the same drums. From the tip off to the final play, they grind. Mike's on fire, bets on their minds. Arguing odds till the last rewind. Blue and white, it's a bond you'll find. Bond you'll find. Blitz the bookies where the knowledge reigns. Charlie and Anthony bring the heat like flames. Talking parlays, breaking down the games. Kentucky Wildcats, they beat the same drums. Yeah.